I'm in the kitchen. I am going to do some cooking. I'm not just quite sure what I'm going to make, though. I think it's going to be a soup because I don't want to get it too involved. But what I did was I took all those little potatoes that I got and I cut them up. I cut up a white onion, chopped up my parsley, which smelled like grass. So I'm thinking this will be a good soup. I might have a can of corn. I can throw a can of corn in there. I have that corned beef. I think I'm going to cut up the corned beef. So I'm kind of just creating it. I don't think I have any broth. Oh, wait a minute. I do. I have some vegetable broth left. So good. At least I have some of that. And so, yeah, I'm just going to throw everything in a pot. First, I got to, the stuff that's going to take the longest to cook. So I'm going to I shall put the broth in my pot. I'll put the broth in here and put the potatoes in, and I'll cook the potatoes for a while. I'll probably cook them for like 10 minutes or so. So we'll get the broth in there, cook the potatoes. Then I was going to leave the onions larger, but I'm going to cut them up a little bit more now since I'm going to cook them. And so let me get them. I have them on here. They're kind of big. Oh, okay. Let's get the onions. I'm going to cut them in half one more time so they're not too big to eat. So we'll do that. Okay, we'll leave them there. Put these over here. Cut those in half one more time. And I want to get the potatoes. I want to get the potatoes in the broth and start boiling that, just like I'm making mashed potatoes, but I'm not going to cook it too long. Okay, let's get those in there. So we'll put those in first. I'll just heat them up like they are. I'll be adding some water anyway, and I'll cut the peppers up in a little bit. So I'm probably going to put those in. It'll be sort of a semi-vegetable soup, but I think I'm going to cut up the corned beef. I'll put the corned beef in it, and so then I'll be back when the potatoes are boiling, and then everything will be ready. Okay, I'm getting ready to put in the rest of the veggies. The potatoes are getting par cooked. So I'm going to start this pepper by cutting the bottom off. Okay, no seeds. All the seeds are up there. So let me put the sides off. I'll be cutting these up into bite-sized pieces for the soup. I love red peppers. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the bottom can still be used. I just need to take that off. Now let's look at the other one. Let's see what the little 3-knobby one looks like inside. I'm pretty sure that's what I remember them telling us on the shows. So let's take a look. Well, that might not be the reason. It might just be easier to use because it's flat on the bottom. Doesn't look like, well, I know it is attached at the top, so maybe that could be the reason it's easier to take them off. I don't know. So I know you can, like, you know, just go around the edges and take it off without, you know, cutting it. You can do that too. And I left my TV on again. I'm so sorry. Because I came in here and decided to do this. We're going to cut these up into bite-sized pieces to go into the soup. Now I have another option. I have some au jus. This makes kind of a gravy, doesn't it? Now what if I put this in there with that? And the corned beef and the onions and just let it all simmer. Would that kind of make it savory tasting? Do you think that would be a good addition? I hate to ruin it, you know? But that's what I do. I just try stuff. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I usually eat it anyway. Because I'm not picky. I eat anything. Yeah, I cut up the corned beef I had left over, so that's all in there. Just gonna throw all that in there when I'm done cutting this up. So, because I realized I had that corned beef, and I'm like, I can't make soup if I still have a whole container full of food. That is one of my things. I can't eat a lot at one time, so I end up with lots of food. See, I just got those 2 packages of chicken and fish. So something's got to get done with that. So those will probably go in the freezer because this will take me a few days to eat. And by that time, those will be bad. So I'll probably stick all that in the freezer. And then next week I can skip. You can skip a delivery. So I have so much food and my potatoes are boiling. I can hear them. That occasionally I will skip a delivery if I don't need that much food. So unless I'm planning to to have company, and then I can make a little extra and then send it home. I love sending it home. Then I don't have to eat it all. I don't know. My husband always used to do the cooking. He really did. He liked to cook. He grew up, there was 10 kids in his family. He was the oldest, so not that his mother let him cook, but he ended up being responsible for the younger kids. There's like 20 years difference. His mom was having babies for 20 years. God help her. God bless her. And so, the big ones took care of the little ones. And so I'm sure then when he had his family, he had to learn, take care of them. He had 4 kids. His first family, he had 4 kids. And so when we got together, he was all good at all that. He was good. He knew how to do all those things. I didn't have to teach him anything. So, okay, I got this big pile of stuff here. I have to add more. Let me see, is this hot? Okay, here's my potatoes. I put some potatoes and garlic and vegetable broth in there. So I'm going to put this back on the stove. I'm going to add water to it. And then, actually, I'm going to put these in there first. Then I'm going to add liquid to cover that. I did put some smoky paprika in there. So we're going to take these. It's like full now. Oh my gosh. Let me fill this up with some water. And then I'll just put it back on the stove to simmer for a little while. Excuse me. I'm still have a little residual cough from being sick. It's taking a little while. Okay, let me get this up here. That should be good. I hope. Let's see. See, that's what I was thinking. If I add the au jus in there, that would give it a little more body, a little more savory body to it. But I think I might let this cook for a little bit and then taste it. Maybe it'll be good enough. God, this looks good. Even with corned beef in it. I really like having that vegetable broth. It smells good. Okay. Let's stick this back on the stove and I'll just let it simmer for a little while. See what happens to it. All right. I'll meet you on the other side when it's been cooking a while. Thanks. Okay, well, here is the soup after it's been simmering for a while. It looks pretty good. Smells really good. I have to check some of these things to make sure they're, they look like they're, you know, cooked enough to eat without being raw. It was boiling a little bit. So, I guess this would count as a win because, you know, I didn't burn it. And I didn't ruin it. And I don't see how this can't be edible. So I guess this one turned out. Now, once I start eating it, maybe the seasoning, I might want to change it up a little bit. But yeah, I think this one turned out. So it's kind of like a kitchen sink soup. Sometimes less is more, because I could add some corn into that, or another vegetable, or a bean. But then I end up with so much soup. I think this would be just perfect. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you can get inspired to just throw some stuff in a pot and make it taste good, like I do sometimes.